You know that feeling, right? You wake up and you feel like you're already behind, like you're playing catch-up from the moment your eyes open. We're all looking for that little edge, that secret to a better day. But what if that secret wasn't in a new app or some productivity hack? What if it was hidden in the quiet hours, just before the sun comes up?
Well, that is the big question, isn't it? And today, we're diving into an ancient concept that promises exactly that. It's a practice that's been a cornerstone of health and spiritual philosophies for thousands of years. So let's break it down, see what it's all about, and figure out what it could mean for us today.
Okay, here's our game plan. First up, we'll get a handle on what Brahma Muhurta even is. Then, we'll explore the big promises the ancients made about it. After that, we'll see what modern science has to say about our body's own master clock. Then, we'll get real, balancing the promises with the practicalities of modern life. And finally, we'll see how you might be able to make this ancient wisdom work for you.
All right, let's jump right in. Part 1. So what exactly is this Brahma Muhurta? Let's unpack the time of the creator.
So Brahma Muhurta is basically a very specific window of time right before sunrise. And the name itself is pretty fascinating. It literally translates from Sanskrit to the creator's time. The whole idea, coming from traditions like Ayurveda, is that this time of day is just different. It's considered uniquely powerful, a time when the atmosphere is pure and your mind is like a sponge, super receptive to new knowledge, meditation, or just quiet reflection.
And get this, we're not talking about a vague early morning vibe. The ancient texts are incredibly precise. They define this special window as lasting for exactly 96 minutes before sunrise.
To give you some context, these traditions divided the entire 24-hour day into 30 of these time slots, or muhurtas, and each one was thought to have a unique quality. As you can see, a lot of them are rated as good. But the Brahma Muhurta, it stands out. It's labeled very good. This is why it was considered the absolute prime time, the sweet spot for any practices that are meant to nurture your body and mind.
So okay, it's the very good time slot. But why? Why was this time so important? What did the ancient sages believe would happen if you actually lined your life up with this pre-dawn rhythm? Let's explore the ancient promise.
When you dig into the classic Ayurvedic texts, the claims are, well, they're huge. They say that waking during Brahma Muhurta is a cornerstone of an ideal daily routine, which they called dinacharya. It was said to calm the vata dosha, which you can think of as the energy of movement and anxiety, leading to better mental stability. It was also believed to sharpen your memory, what they call shriddhi, slow down the aging process, and even boost your beauty, intelligence, and overall health. And on a deeper level, it was seen as a key practice for anyone seeking spiritual liberation, or moksha.
This quote from a famous text, the Ashtanga Hridaya, really drives the point home. It says a healthy person should wake up at this time, not just to be productive, but to protect the ayu, which means to protect their very life force. Pretty powerful stuff. So that's the ancient wisdom. But how does any of this hold up to modern science? Okay, time to switch gears. Let's step out of the ancient texts and into the modern lab. Is there any scientific basis for all these ancient claims? Turns out, the answer lies in a really cool field called chronobiology.
And what's wild is how the ancient concepts and modern science seem to parallel each other. The language is totally different, of course. Where ancient wisdom talked about vata time or inner energy, modern science talks about our circadian rhythm and hormones. It's almost like they were describing the same phenomena, just centuries apart.
So deep inside your brain, there's a tiny group of about 20,000 neurons called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or SCN for short. The easiest way to think about it is as your body's master clock. This little guy is the boss, and it's in charge of regulating your 24-hour cycles of sleep, wakefulness, body temperature, basically the whole shebang.
So how does this master clock know what time it is outside? Well, it's all about light. It's a pretty simple process, really. Step 1, light, especially morning light, enters your eyes. Step 2, that light sends a direct signal to the SCN, your master clock. And step 3, the SCN then tells the pineal gland, okay, shut it down, stop making melatonin, which is the hormone that makes you sleepy. And bam, that's your body's official natural wake-up call.
And this is where waking early, like in Brahma Muhurta, really starts to click with our biology.
Around this time, your body's production of cortisol naturally peaks. Now, cortisol gets a bad rap as the stress hormone, but it's also your alertness hormone. It gives you that natural jolt of energy to start your day. At the same time, your melatonin levels are at their lowest. So by waking up early, you're essentially surfing this natural hormonal wave instead of fighting against it.
And there's another key player here, serotonin. You could think of melatonin as the hormone of darkness. It's high at night and helps you sleep. Well, serotonin is the opposite. It's the feel-good neurotransmitter that helps you feel awake and boost your mood. And here's the kicker. It's boosted by morning light. So as serotonin goes up, melatonin goes down. This is why getting some sunlight first thing in the morning can have such a huge positive impact on your energy and your mood all day long.
Okay, so the science is definitely intriguing, and it seems to line up really well with the ancient wisdom. But before we all go and set our alarms for 4 in the morning, let's take a deep breath and get realistic about the promises versus the practicalities.
So here's where we need a balanced view. On one side, you have this incredible promise. Mental clarity, better health, emotional stability. It sounds amazing. But on the other side, we have to be real about the challenges. Scientific reviews point out that there's a lack of big, randomized clinical trials looking specifically at Brahma Muhurta. Plus, the routines aren't one-size-fits-all. And let's be honest, for a lot of us, like shift workers or anyone with a demanding modern schedule, waking up this early can feel totally impractical.
But acknowledging the challenges doesn't mean we just toss the whole idea out the window. Not at all. The key isn't about being perfect, it's about adapting. So how can we gently take this ancient wisdom and make it work in our busy, modern lives?
If you're curious to try this, the key is to be gentle with yourself. Don't make a huge leap from an 8 a.m. wake-up to a 4:30 a.m. one overnight. That's just a recipe for failure. Instead, try this. First, just try to adjust your bedtime 15 minutes earlier. Then, set your alarm for 15 minutes earlier. In that new little sliver of time, do something quiet, no phone, like some gentle stretching or just jotting down some thoughts. The most important thing is to build consistency with that small change first, long before you even think about adding more time. It's about a gentle shift, not a huge shock to the system.
And that really brings us to the final thought here. Brahma Muhurta is more than just a time on the clock. It's a philosophy. It's about trying to sync up our inner world with the natural cycles of the world around us. And in our crazy, 24/7, always-on society, a world that literally never sleeps, maybe the most powerful lesson from this ancient practice is just that simple invitation to pause, to listen, and to rediscover our own natural rhythm.